Hi and welcome to another Memories Made video. I'm designer Jen Gallacher and today I'm going to show you how I pull items from my stash to create a layout. Now the layout I'm making today is about a children's parade that we attended several years ago, and it is for our town parade, and it takes place in the month of July. So all of the 4th of July products that are on the market right now will work for this particular project. So the first thing I did is I went in search of 4th of July items, and I pulled an older Echo Park 4th of July sticker sheet as well as a newer Doodlebug design sheet. And I tend to keep my products for about a year. And then because I work in the industry and things need to be as current as possible, I'll recycle them out. And so I have things as much as a year old, but not much older than that for items like stickers and papers. And you can see that some of the colors are similar and some are not. The reds are not exactly similar, but some of the blues are. I wasn't really worried about that at this point. I just pulled everything out. And then I went through my pattern paper scraps and I pulled out larger items such as the craft and dark blue. And I pulled out thematic pattern papers. This one's from Bella Boulevard and Doodlebug Designs. I knew that I wanted to bring in some gray and craft elements because you can kind of see them in some of the subtle elements on these stickers. So I brought in a dictionary paper. It kind of functions as a neutral background, so I often pull papers like this, but it had a gray background, so that's why I chose this paper. And then this is a My Little Shoebox pattern paper, but on the back it had a nice tone-on-tone blue, so I pulled that. This is from a Little Yellow Bicycle collection, and it is not necessarily 4th of July, but the blue matched. This is from the Stars and Stripes collection from Doodlebug, which is a 4th of July collection. And then I also pulled this Snippets pattern paper from Studio Calico because it had the blues and red. So you can see how I start shopping. Then I will go and I will look for things like gems. These are red. I might look for a washi tape. And then I might look for elements that match, such as the craft I was using. I went and looked for some items that are craft in nature. So you can see that I pulled some things out. You'll notice in the video I don't use everything that I pulled out, and that's okay. When I am done, I put everything back and then I can use it again another time. So let's go ahead and get started making this layout. So the first thing I wanted to do was use a sheet of red cardstock, and that will serve as a subtle background for my page. And then I have a sheet of white cardstock that I am going to trim and fit on top. Now, some designers like to cut out the center of their cardstock and then save that for later. If you're looking to really stretch your supplies, then I suggest doing it that way. When I am cutting out pattern paper, I just use pencil marks. There are a lot of different ways to cut things out and use the rulers on your paper trimmer. This is just a tried and true method that I've always used, and because it works for me, it's fast. So we're just going to cut off the excess. And I like the way the white cardstock allowed the pattern papers I selected to kind of stand out and shine a little bit. So go ahead and adhere this to the cardstock. I'm using a permanent dot runner adhesive from American Crafts. It's one of my favorite adhesives to use. And then from all the pattern papers, I just cut a bunch of strips. And this is another great way to use up your stash. You've seen me do this before, and I'll just pull out a bunch of different pattern papers. And then what I will do is start assembling them on the page, and I will move them around until I kind of get a feel for where I want them to go. And then I can come back and cut the edges. So that's how I start getting a feel for where things go. I put this heart one in the middle because it marries all the other colors together. So then I can start adding some decorative bottoms to the pattern paper, or you could leave them just as they are as rectangular blocks. It's up to you. You can even use your border punches to punch out the bottoms of the borders. So I have a large scallop, and what I will do is I'll take this pattern paper and I will center it inside the bottom of the punch and just punch out. And you can see that it creates a little bit of a scallop, and if it didn't punch it all the way through, just trim it. And then I can add this to the bottom here. And then I can just keep cutting these out however I see fit. So great way to put your tools to work. If you're looking for additional ways to stretch your tools, be sure to check out my new workshop from 2Ps called Tool School, which while it doesn't teach you exactly how to use every tool in your arsenal, what it does is it focuses more on unique ways that you can use your tools. So be sure to check that out. Again, that's offered through 2psinabucket.com. On this particular one, I'm going to create a pennant on the bottom, but I'm not going to center the pennant. I usually center them. It's kind of fun to do one that is off-centered. And then for fun, I'll just rip one. So lots of different ways that you can dress up the bottom of these banners. Let's go ahead and adhere them to the layout. I do store my pattern paper according to color, especially my scraps. That allows me to quickly find all the pieces that I want to use. Be sure to store yours in whatever way you like to scrapbook. If you are a very heavy thematic scrapbooker, you might consider using them, or rather storing them according to theme. If you reach for colors and you're not as concerned about theme, then I would store them by color. You can see how I store my items in my recent craft tour video, which is on my YouTube channel if you're interested in seeing how I store all my different items. If you don't have any dictionary pattern paper on hand, I suggest checking out secondhand stores such as Goodwill or antique shops and look for vintage dictionaries. The more yellowed, the better. Now, the thing about yellowed paper is it is not acid-free, and so you will need to be aware of that and make sure you're not placing any heirloom photos next to the yellowed paper. But this is pattern paper, so it is already acid-free. So I wanted to use a fun die cut shape from Simple Stories. This is from their I Heart Summer collection. It is already die cut like this. If you don't have this collection, you could do the same effect using punches or a digital or manual die cut machine. So it's just a fun way to add some shape to the layout. And then I printed 3 photos of my son at the children's parade, and these are 4 inches tall, and I did print at home on my Canon printer. And we'll go ahead and adhere these to the layout. And when I'm choosing which photos to put where, I usually pick a focal point photo. So I'll pick a photo that tells the story best as the one that I usually place in the center. And I came across this one of my son giggling, and it made me laugh, and so that became the focal point, and that's why I chose to layer that one on top. Then to connect the top and the bottom part of the layout, I have some of that wood grain pattern paper for my little shoebox. We'll just adhere this right across the center, and that just marries the 2 pieces of the layout together, and it also matches some of the elements I'm going to bring in. Now, I printed my journaling on some craft cardstock, and just to dress it up and distress it, I'll do what I usually do, and I will just add some brown ink to the edges of it. You can use chalk ink pads, you can use pigment, you can use some distress ink and a foam applicator from Tim Holtz, however you like to do it. Now at the bottom here, I am going to use some non-4th of July thematic stickers, and these are chipboard stickers. This adventure sticker is from Echo Park Paper, All About a Boy, and this Adventure Awaits is from a Simple Stories collection, and I will make sure to link you to all the products used on my blog, so visit my blog if you're interested in knowing where I got each supply. And then I'm just going to layer them on top of each other, and they are both stickers. And it's a repetitive adventure word. So that's a fun way to do that. Then I'm going to bring in some different elements, and these are corrugated clouds from Jelly Bean Soup, and they match the craft that I've been using. And I'm going to go ahead and layer these on the upper photo, and that helps bring some of that craft from this area of the page up to that upper corner. So I try to create triangles of elements. And then I wanted to add this banner sticker. This is from the Echo Park 4th of July, and I'm not going to use the entire sticker, so I'll just cut off the excess. And then I want to add it to my layout, but I want it to stand out a little bit. So I will often add some adhesive dots, foam dots on the back of my stickers. And that just gives them a little bit of dimension. If you don't like that dimension in your layout, just leave out this particular step. And just add as many as you need to. You don't need to fill up the whole space, just enough that it holds the sticker off the layout. And just remove the protective backing and then stick it on your layout. And we're going to slightly cover those clouds. Then I wanted to do something fun with the opening of these hearts. And so I have these gems, and these are also from Doodlebug, and I'll just fill them in with a couple of shiny dots. And enamel dots are really hot right now, so if you prefer that look, you can use that look. Then here at the bottom, I am going to add some stickers. I often use tidbits or word stickers from October Afternoon, especially tabs. This one says today. And this one is, again, not from a 4th of July collection, but the navy blue matched. So when I was shopping through my sticker supplies, I found that I liked that. And I'm going to go ahead and use the cork stickers, and these are from Studio Calico. And this particular journaling is about how we decided to put our son and daughter in a children's parade and how it didn't turn out quite the way that we wanted to. We thought it would be fun for them, and it turned out that it was rather exhausting, and they didn't enjoy themselves quite as much as we were hoping they would. So the journaling talks about how it doesn't always turn out exactly how you picture it turning out. So I've added a bunch of elements here. I'm going to go ahead and add some tape to the layout. And this is from Bella Boulevard, and this particular gray tape is from Doodlebug Design. And you can see I like to use 2 different sizes of tapes. And then I will just add it to the layout, and I like the ripped look. And the nice thing about tape is that it's meant to be used however you like. And I just am going to do kind of a casual setup right here. And I just slightly overlap them. And then you can make them shorter or longer, however you want. But it adds kind of a casual look to the center of the layout. So I have a title that I've die cut with my silhouette machine, and we're going to go ahead and combine both a sticker title as well as a die cut title. And I'm just using a glue pen to paint the back of the die cut shape. You could also run it through a Xyron machine if that's how you prefer to add your stickers. And we're going to go ahead and slightly cover that washi tape that I placed down. And then for the secondary part of the title, I'm going to use some older Jelly Bean Soup stickers, and I'm going to spell out parade. And this is how I like to combine the different both die cut as well as stickers to create a title. And you can trim these stickers and you can overlap them. You can place them down however you want. You could rip some of them like I did with one of my pattern paper strips here below. Lots of different options. Now add a little bit more tape here at the bottom. I want to bring in some of this red. So I'm going to add a little bit of this red tape here. Just rip off the bottom. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the gray as well, just to kind of balance out the layout a little bit. And I'll just keep going until I feel like the layout looks balanced, and then I will stop adding items at that point. So you just kind of have to get a feel for when you feel like your layout is finished, and then stop there. So you can see how I've combined just a bunch of different thematic and non-thematic products to create a layout about our adventure at the Children's Parade. Be sure to shop your stash for not only themed items, but non-themed items such as this die cut shape. You can cut a title to fit. You can bring in elements that simply coordinate with the colors in the photographs. There's a lot of different ways, but when shopping your stash, kind of bring out anything you think might work and then create the layout from there. Thank you for joining me for today's Memories Made video. This is a video in a series, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel in case you've missed any of the videos that pertain to this series.